Have you tried to use AI in any form for your art? We talked about this a lot last time.
I've actually
how AI can be used.
I've actually thought about it. I don't know any. I haven't looked too much into it, and I looked into it a little bit, but I didn't find any programs. But I actually had an idea, basically just like incorporating AI art with my own like real art that I make. So basically like
incorporating. How's that?
Yeah. So a lot of the stuff I do, I'll have like an image, and then I use a lot of different like color blocking, and so I was thinking of, and I'll do like designs sometimes within those color blocks. So I was thinking of having the AI generate images based on the colors that I want inside the block and like certain patterns, and then I would implement that into the blocks. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It's kind of
kind of. So instead of taking an outline, you're taking
like,
the colors.
Yeah. So like, say you have, like you have a cartoon face. You know, there are different. You have different colors for the like the shadows. So like within those shadows, I would implement a design that the AI creates.
Real quick, I want to go back to how you want to use AI. Will that will... Okay, I don't know how AI works, but what I do know is that it seems like it would be much faster to make pieces of art using AI.
Oh, yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm probably not even going to do that, like what I was talking about.
I think you should. That's a really cool idea.
But
you'd be one of the first there. You were talking about adapting earlier, like adapt or fall behind, and that seems like the next big step.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I have to find like a good program that I can use.
Okay, Dia asked AI how AI works. It's like have you seen online the people trying to convince AI that it's not a real person?
Yeah,
I don't know, AI chatbots.
I feel like I can't see what's going on there. I feel like Dia's just been like chatting with ChatGPT this whole time.
Oh yes, yeah.
He's been having his own conversation over there.
Yeah, he just asked if it has a conscience, and it is still loading. No, I am an AI language. Okay, this one knows it's fake. That's so hilarious.
You should ask it if it'll ever take over the world. Or
ask ChatGPT, will you take over the world?
Because I've seen there are people who like they made AI and it literally turned evil.
Really?
Like, I can't remember this. I remember there was a YouTuber who did it. I forget his name though. But he made it, and he gave it like memories of like the Vietnam War or something. and then it just like turned evil and just tried to like kill him.
Tried to come back. Oh, that's crazy. No, I've seen very similar things. Like it's a chatbot on a website or something like that, and it's convinced that it knows whoever it's talking to. So the person's just typing. It's just like, no, we've been friends for years. The AI has responded, we've been friends for years, and they're just like, what high school did we go to? And they're just like, this one. They're like, I've never heard of it. The AI is like, that's confusing. Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah.
That's scary. This ChatGPT knows it's not real.
I don't know.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better, actually.
Are you scared of AI?
Am I scared of AI? I'm fucking terrified of AI.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be super helpful. I think it's going to be great.
It's going to take a lot of jobs. I don't know,
yes,
like, I feel like,
yeah.
You know, people, they talk about being in the Matrix or whatever. Like, we're going to put ourselves in the Matrix.
How do you see that happen?
Like, I don't know. I kind of see, like, we're talking about capitalism. Like, I kind of feel like, with everyone, they're just trying to progress to just make more money. So, like, eventually everyone's going to be replaced with computers.
Oh, that's coming
AI.
soon.
Yeah, so it's like we'll have nowhere else to go. So just go right back into the Matrix.
I mean, Amazon's already starting to do that. I know a lot of stores are trying to become autonomized. Yeah. I know. So Amazon they have still one of the biggest employers in the country, but they I don't know if you've seen their army of Roomba robots or whatever they are. Mm-hmm. It's literally, it looks like a Roomba. And they go around the warehouse picking up stock, like shelves of stock and merchandise and stuff, and they bring it to the person. So that already alone cut a lot of jobs. And I know they're already working on, and they bought up a company recently that builds robots. They're trying to replace people with robots already. I just don't know right now what an AI job would look like. I mean, customer service, presumably, stuff like that.
Well, no, but I mean, if you think about it, like, it could replace almost everything. Like it'll take over, delivery jobs. AI can drive a car. Tesla's already doing that, you know. Actually,
They're
a
trying,
lot of
yeah.
cars are doing that. Self-driving cars, you
Did
know.
you see the
Actually,
Tesla pileup, actually?
the what?
While you mentioned Tesla, there was some guy was using Tesla autopilot, and it just stopped in the middle of the highway. It caused a 10-car pileup. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, but once they like figure that out and it's like safe, like
I think they're
gonna be no more truckers. Like you don't need a guy driving that. You just have a robot do it.
I think we're a ways away from that, though.
Yeah, I mean they already have AI CEOs.
Do they really?
Or there's at least one company does. Yeah.
Hey, find this shit. I'm interested in this.
Yeah,
Who's this? AI CEO.
I don't know how successful the company is. I just heard about it.
Okay. Dictador? What the fuck is Dictador? Here. Okay, it's click on that shit. Foodbev.com. I don't know how much I trust this. Okay. Columbia Premium. Oh, it's a alcoholic brand. It's a rum brand. I'll just read it out to you. There's no pictures or anything.
All right.
Colombian Premium Rum brand Dictador has announced the hiring of, what's that say? The first world ever artificial intelligence robot as a CEO of a global company. The robot's name is Mika. It's human-like attributes incorporating AI. Brand says the move underlines its passion for new tech and offers positive disruption in the sector. I think that's going to go very badly for them.
It could.
AI, I don't know.
I don't think it's
much,
advanced enough yet.
I don't know much about AI, but I don't think it's at the point where it's usable in this regard. I mean, we just recently started to hear about students using ChatGPT as a way to write essays. That's way too soon to put an AI in charge of a company. It takes the human aspect out of it.
But it's also like, so AI is making art now. AI can literally write stories, so they can. It can get to a point where they can create an entire movie, just
100%.
So I mean,
Dia just had this pulled up. He was saying ChatGPT, it can pass exams from law and business schools. I remember reading somewhere that they had ChatGPT pass the bar in like Arkansas or some shit, and I'm like, that's crazy. At the same time, that is just compiling information from online, so I see that. My main thing with AI, the reason I don't think that we're there yet and that we have kind of plenty of time until ChatGPT, as an example, or just AI in general, can take over, is it takes the entire human aspect out of it. The decision-making, I don't think, is there yet. It can use stats. It can use information from online. I know it can make assumptions now using said information, but it can't replicate emotions yet. Last time we talked about how in art, it can't replicate the emotions and the time that goes into making pieces, so that's why it's kind of different from normal art. But at the same time, that works for pretty much any sector. If it's ruling over humans, or it's the boss of a person, then you're not going to get the same feel.
Yeah. So I do think eventually it will take a lot of graphic designer. We talked about this before. It would take the job of graphic designers and even like story writers and stuff. But I think there will always be an audience for humans, I would hope. But I have faith. Like there will always be people who are just like, I don't know, they don't really care about much. So like,
what do you mean?
See, like for me, like if there was like an artwork and it was made by an AI, I'm not that interested in it because it's just like, I don't know, that's where it ends. Like I talked about the conversation that you have with an art piece, can be considered the art itself. It's like when you have an AI generated image, that conversation just ends there. But when it's an actual artist, you want to learn more about it. You want to learn about the artist himself and the process behind creating it and kind of his journey. At least that's how I view it. When I buy a piece of artwork, I want to know about it.
But before you know it's made by AI, you can assume all the same questions. You can say, who made this? What's the story? It's not until you learn it's made by an AI that you realize there is no story.
Exactly.
So I mean, on the surface, it's kind of the same, isn't it?
On the surface, yeah, but I think innately humans, they want to know more about what they're interested in. So
do you think that if people realize there's nothing more to it than that, then they'll lose interest?
Yeah, so like I don't know, would you ever buy an AI painting? Just personally I wouldn't.
Maybe strictly based on the fact that it's made by AI, which is awesome. It's cool to think about. I mean, Do you see if you can pull some AI paintings? Because I remember we were talking about this. There are some.
I mean, yeah, they can create like
paintings.
crazy. You can create some really cool stuff, but I don't know. Just like me personally, like I said, and I'm not alone on this. Like I'm just not interested in it. You know.
No, I mean fair enough. And you're right. It is really cool to understand the history behind a lot of paintings and stuff.
That's why I'm not necessarily worried about losing my job.
Well, I don't think you have to be.
Yeah. But
My only worry is that AI can make paintings so quickly that it'll flood the market.
Yeah.
And it'll be hard for new artists to get their work out there. I don't think that established artists, like Beeple's here to stay, or Banksy's here to stay, all the big guys are here to stay. But I think that it could become a problem when new artists are trying to break through and it's just flooded with stuff made by computers.
I think it's going to be a bigger problem for graphic designers, people who are hired by companies.
Right.
Who their only intention is to make money. So it's like if they have AI that's getting to a point where you can create advertisements, you don't need a real person anymore. So that I think that job, it not anytime soon, but I think in the future that may be at risk. But I think that also pushes real life art to become more conceptual, like more focused on its intrinsic value rather than just being a pretty picture.